My name is Randall English, and it is my honor to welcome you in the name of the board, staff, volunteers, and members of the Newport Bay Conservancy, who is partnering with Ridge to Reef in bringing you this conference. The Newport Bay Conservancy's mission is to protect and preserve the Upper Newport Bay through education, restoration, research, and advocacy. Just in 2019, we've logged over 5,000 hours serving 54,000 people at 600 events. I'd like to acknowledge the landholders that we work with in concert. They are the City of Newport Beach, Orange County Parks, and the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. And I say landholders, not owners, because we, the people of California, own that land, and we are the stewards of the land, all of us, even though we don't necessarily hold the title. 51 years ago, Frank and Frances Robinson, along with countless others, staged a battle to preserve access, first just to preserve their access to the Upper Newport Bay, and then as they worked, they learned how special it was, and they fought to preserve it from becoming a marina. Really, the key tools in their fight against County and Irvine Company were education and advocacy. It was an interesting time here in the U.S., and there's a lot of environmental going on, but they built this little snowball that kept rolling and getting bigger and bigger and bigger merely with education and advocacy. That's how they did it. And it's quite powerful. And that's one of the drivers behind this conference, is educating you so we can be better advocates. The majority of the Upper Newport Bay is mudflat marine, it's wetlands. Wetlands are one of the most, back that up, it's an extremely productive nursery for all kinds of life, inshore, offshore species, mammals, birds. 40% of all species either live in, breed, or feed in wetlands. The Newport Bay not only supports local species, it's on the Pacific Flyway, it supports migrating species. One of the species, the Arctic tern, is known to go from the Arctic to the Antarctic. That's how far it travels. So our little piece of acting locally is impacting globally in a way. Wetlands organisms, the plants, filter feeders, mollusks, actually clean the water. They clean out our pollutants and make it better. Wetlands are one of the most effective at sequestering carbon naturally. Unfortunately, there's just not that much wetland that it makes a difference, but 10 to 30 more times more efficient than a forest, a wetlands is. I said, there's not that much. Well, there's even less. Only 5% of California wetlands remain. So our mission is holding on to and strengthening that 5%. The wetlands are also important culturally. Worldwide, over 1 billion people make a living in some manner directly from wetlands. The wetlands also provide recreational opportunities, and they are, talking about First Americans. It is culturally important to these individuals, their being. Protecting the wetlands. Today, this conference is held on the anniversary, or tomorrow is the actual anniversary, of the signing of the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands. The Ramsar Convention is an international treaty providing a framework for conservation and sustainable use of wetlands and the resources. through local, national, international cooperation. Signed February 2nd, 1971, World Wetlands Day, marks that. We're marking that, and I would thank Dr. Peter Bryant, who has been the driving force and started Newport Bay Conservancy's Observational Wetlands Day with his scientific symposium. During a board meeting of the Newport Bay Conservancy, which Joanna is on the board, Peter's past president, Joanna sparked a discussion on the state of discourse and the lack of progress on the climate crisis going on in the world. She voiced frustration that we all have at the endless arguments, the not moving forward and the side arguments. You know, what is the real cause? And she wanted to focus on just solutions. Not recriminations, not finger pointing. How do we move forward? How do we solve this together? And the view resonated with the board, and I'll say we stayed past adjournment, which is pretty rare for us, because we all felt the same way Joanna did. Eventually, we decided that this was the answer. Having our symposium address the climate crisis. We wanted to make a forum, one, to provide reliable information, to provide resources, to provide a community, a place where this is just the start and we're going to move forward from here. Networking, reach out to others, talk to others, find out what they do. We want to tie organizations together, nonprofits, businesses, governmental. We have to work together. Not one of us can solve this on our own. So this conference is trying to give you the education and some tools and build this network so we can go forward. We don't want today to just be today. We want today to be the start and pushing the momentum forward. I'd like to thank the sponsors. One, Ridge to Reef, whose goal is to develop and disseminate interdisciplinary evidence-based model for graduate training. Better be graduate, those are long words, it's hard for me to say. I'd also like to thank Schneider Electric, who is also sponsoring it. Schneider Electric is moving their model from providing hardware to providing more an end-to-end control so you can monitor and improve. Schneider actually believes that access to energy and digital is a human right because how do you function in a society without it? So if we're going to provide this, we need to provide it in a reliable, safe, and sustainable way. There are speakers, panelists to thank. I don't know all the names. I'm going to throw that at you to do, Joanna. And of course, thank you for being here, and thank you for being here with open minds. Without any further ado, our first speaker, J.T. Rieger, research scientist with NASA JPL, Surface Hydrology Group in the Earth Sciences.